And welcome back to the Daily Dribble podcast, guys. As always, I'm your host, Nick Zammit, here back with another massive episode as we continue on the road to the start of the 2024-2025 season. Now, brought back this week, if you're a long-time listener of the Daily Dribble, you know we love a mailbag episode here. Once again, busted it out for this week's show. Very, very keen to get into that very shortly. Got some quick odds and ends to rattle through. But before we get into even that, just want to shout out both Stadium Scene and The Cover, both those networks continuing to showcase all of my work here, as well as a whole host of other content creators in and around Australia, New Zealand, the US, and Canada. Very, very appreciative for all their continued hard work and support of what I'm doing here. Really does mean a lot. Likewise to all you guys. It's been a fantastic last couple of weeks on the socials. If you haven't checked out the last couple of episodes, did a two-part series on my most untouchable players heading into next season. Got mostly positive reviews, some mixed, but that's part of the cause. Just kind of going through, some of those players that I deem are untouchable in their respective franchise. So essentially meaning players that you wouldn't want to trade. But you've got to keep them by any means necessary, essentially. If you haven't checked them out, be sure to check it out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or tune in on YouTube as well. All right, let's not stand on ceremony any longer. Let's get into things with odds and ends. And firstly, reports have come out during the week saying that the Lakers are reportedly pursuing Luka Doncic as the next face of the franchise once LeBron James retires. Now, as a Lakers fan, I'm kind of in denial that LeBron's ever going to retire. He'll be 40 years of age this coming December, which is just mind-boggling. But that being said, it is time to start planning for the future. A guy who averaged 34 points, 9 rebounds, and 10 assists last season, that's not a bad place to start looking for the future. I would personally be absolutely delighted if that were the case. I know a lot of people would not, but he is hoping in the future that we get to see, I wake up to a Woj bomb reporting this. Like, it would be utterly game-changing. Imagine Luka and AD linking up together. What a formidable duo that would be. And as I said, somewhat in denial about LeBron ever retiring, that would certainly soften the blow. A player the caliber of Luka coming in, game changer. Now, whether it eventuates or not is another question entirely. But reports coming out, looks like the route they're going to go, and would love to hear your thoughts out there. Would this be a positive for the league? Or would it be a negative? Would it be too much star power heading out to LA? LA always seems to kind of get their own way. Or would this just kind of freshen things out? It's been a dour couple of years for the purple and gold. Is this the catalyst for success that they need? Watch this space. Exciting times ahead if you're a Lakers fan. In other news, Boogie Cousins has joined the 3x3 basketball team Wuzi Wen LV in the 2024 FIBA 3x3 World Tour. Now, just like as I saw this during the week, imagine the thought of coming face-to-face in a 3-on-3 competition opposite Boogie Cousins. 34 years of age, averaged 19.5 points, 10 rebounds, and 3 assists across his career, was a 4-time All-Star, and in his best season in the league, averaged 27 points, 11 rebounds, and 4.5 assists. They are elite numbers. That is elite level production right there. Was really disappointing to see him go down with an ACL injury that essentially derailed his career. I still firmly believe he's probably a player, not that recently, but sometime over the last 12 months, would have mentioned his name, saying that I believe he could do a shift for a lot of teams, and I still believe that to be the case. 34 years of age, still plenty left in the tank. And who knows, maybe a good performance here could be that catalyst for a mid-season play at him. I'm sure depending how the season goes, there would be multiple teams who would be willing to take a chance on Boogie Cousins. I, for one, again, coming back to the Lakers, don't want to make it all about them, but I'd be delighted as a backup big man. If you want to play AD at the 4, Christian Wood starts, probably not. But Boogie Cousins coming into that rotation, electric. So, again, another watch this space, but excited to see how he goes in the 3-on-3 World Tour at the moment. As broken yesterday, Luke Travers has agreed on a two-way deal with the Cleveland Cavaliers, was picked up by them with the number 56 pick in the 2022 NBA draft, has since continued plying his trade with Melbourne United here in the NBL, and has been stellar. Now, what's really stood out to me is the growth he's made on both ends of the court, especially the offensive end. Defensively, he's always that's been his bread and butter. Offensively, though, that last 12 to 24 months made some really big strides. And I think as that two-way player, he's going to be quite damaging if he gets the opportunity. Now, for me, I would love to see these players like Travers, like Jack McVeigh there with the Houston Rockets, getting the opportunity to make their mark in the league. I think it's fantastic the route the NBL is going, the growth trajectory it's on, and this pathway for players into the NBA is continuing to strengthen as the years go by. Travers can hopefully be the latest byproduct of success for this route, but very excited. It's great to see any NBL talent make that jump. I will certainly be keeping a very close eye on his progress, and might even in the next week or two do a bit of a forecast ahead to how the Aussie players might go this season. Finally, from odds and ends, Russell Westbrook will wear the number 4 this season in Denver. Now, it's been quite a contentious topic if you've stayed up to date with the Daily Dribble socials, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and TikTok. Put up something the other day that there was a report coming out that Russ had asked Christian Brown for the number 0, to which Brown said he wouldn't give it up. Russ since came out on the socials to state that this was in fact false. He wanted the number 4 all along. Now, it was just a funny little topic of debate. I know I had quite a lot of people messaging me regarding this. I think Russ is a tremendous teammate. I do not think, he put it up on the socials. I wholeheartedly believed him. He is the type of guy that is going to put himself second, especially at this stage of his career. I'm real strict on having my number for sport. Coincidentally, it's number 4 as well. I'm one of those people that probably won't play if I don't have it. Russ is not that guy. He's not as petty as I am. But I'm certainly excited to see how that goes in Denver this season. I think he's one of the more underrated acquisitions this offseason. I think having that steadying force in the second unit there, I think him and Brown are going to link up tremendously well. Very excited for what Denver have done there with adding Russ. But again, Russ certainly isn't as petty as I am. I've always been that guy. It's number 4 or bust. I really crack the stinks quite a lot if I don't get my own way on that point. Hoping to continue that going, in my sporting career over the next few years. I'm hoping that doesn't change. If it does, I'm sure a lot of people will know about it. I will crack it. But fair play to Russ. He's doing the team thing there. Love to see it. Guys, that wraps up a very quick odds and ends. Let's push ahead with our mailbag segment.
The Daily Dribble.
Okay, just a big thank you once again to everyone that sent in questions. Kind of threw it out there on the socials during the week. They could be basketball related, non-basketball related, the meaning of life. It doesn't matter. Anything and everything. Love doing these. Love hearing from you guys and answering your questions. So I've got about half a dozen to rattle through today. Excited to get into them. Firstly, the Usage Rate podcast. Go check them out on Instagram. If you're an NBL fan, listen on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. They are your kind of go-to for everything NBL, Supercoach in particular, but anything NBL data and analysis-wise, they are your go-to. Hoping to do an episode with the lads over the next couple of weeks as I start to ramp up my NBL content. Certainly something to look forward to there. They actually asked me, what is the best NBL Supercoach podcast? Now, it's a somewhat biased opinion, but I love what the lads are doing there at the Usage Rate pod. I'm a big person for analytics. I love numbers. I love stats, and they are bringing it and then some. Likewise, if you're into fantasy sports and you're an NBL fan, NBL Supercoach has opened up once again. Get your team in. The lads are running the league this season. Going to be massive. I've just put my team in officially this morning. So looking forward to seeing how that goes. But certainly listening to their pod over the last couple of weeks, really, I think, helped me kind of carve out a squad that I think is going to do really well in the fantasy league this year. So I would absolutely say them. But also I'd have to go with my fellow cover brethren, the Fifth and Dribble lads, doing tremendous things in the rugby space as well as the NBL content. As I said, hoping to ramp up that content again very soon for the NBL, but hopefully get to speak with those guys once again there. Locke, Matty Bay, the Sherpa, doing magic things over at the Fifth and Dribble too. Second question comes from Dwayne Walsh, my guy. Now, I've never seen a guy hit a soccer ball harder than Walshy. I've had the misfortune of playing against him many a time in my career, outdoor, futsal. This year, fortunate enough to play with him, and absolute legend on the field, legend off it as well. It's been an absolute honour getting to play alongside this guy, and getting to know him a hell of a lot better. So he asked me, what was my favourite sporting moment of the year? Now, I found this one really difficult to answer, and I didn't know whether to take it from a watching or a playing perspective. That being said, I think he will know what I'm going to say. I'm going to have to go with playing, and it's one of my moments from soccer this season. We had the top two teams. I played for Southeast United. We came up against, we were currently top. We were playing Taroona, who were second. Massive game, first versus second. Whoever won it was going to go a real long way to establishing who was the championship team. Going to the game, we were 2-0 up at halftime and just cruising. Could have been a lot more. We ended up going down 3-2 with about 10 minutes to go, and it was just, the writing was on the wall, all-time collapse. It was, you could sense the atmosphere it was pretty dour. Going back into the change rooms with a loss like that would have been horrendous. That being said, Walshy comes on with about 5-10 minutes to go. Comes on, a couple of minutes in, wins a penalty. Then doing the captain duties, I step up there, slot that one, hit him with the D-Lo ice in the vein celebration. First time I've busted that out. From a lot of my mates, that was a contentious point, hitting that or not, but I love it. So we get it back to 3-3. There's about a minute to go, if that. We rush them from kickoff. Walshy gets it, slots the winner with what was essentially the last kick of the game, a 4-3 victory. Stood out for me. I don't think I've ever been more hyped for a sporting moment, like being involved with it. The absolute joy that just came across as soon as that ball hit the back of the net, a 4-3 win, top two teams, like it was the ultimate stage, the ultimate finish. If you're a neutral fan, you certainly got your money's worth. But what an impact player, what an impact moment that was. Incredible stuff there, Walshy. It's fantastic. This week, we're officially going to be crowned champions of the league. Doing it alongside you and the lads, mate, I'm beyond pumped for it. So certainly for myself, a big week of celebrations, already plotting for the headaches that are to come over the next week or two. But that is part of the highs and lows of sport, isn't it? Moving ahead, my partner, Paige. Now, she took my story post a little bit too literally the other night. She did ask me what, in fact, is the meaning of life. What is the meaning of life? Why are we here? Now, I think it was a little bit tongue-in-cheek, but I thought I would give a quick answer nevertheless. Part of me wants to say that it's to live fast and die young. Without going into too much detail, I think it's essentially, without sounding too corny, it's to love and to be loved, to impact others in a positive way, and to leave this earth a little bit better than what it was when you arrived. That being said, it's such a deep question. It could be its own podcast. And I'm sure many people are doing a podcast just about that. So there's a little short and sweet answer. But yeah, you could sit here and ponder that for quite a while. Trent Christian asks, who is the next face of the league? Now, there's a lot of talk about who the new guy is. The old guys aren't quite giving it up just yet. We've still got the LeBrons, the Currys, the KDs, players like this. They're still running roughshod over the league. If we had to look ahead, though, and say who is the guy, I pondered this one for quite a while as well. It wasn't as easy as I first thought. I ended up settling on Anthony Edwards. Now, I think he's primed to be the guy. it was looking like Luka a season or two ago, and over the next couple of years, he might well just be the best player. That being said, in terms of charisma, wow factor, bums in seats, Edward looks like that guy that the NBA are ready to hitch that wagon to. Averaged 26 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists last season, was dubbed the next coming of MJ. Now, when you're getting touted with that label, you're a serious player. I think it's incredibly scary to think how good he's going to be this coming season. As I said, I personally think he'll lead this next iteration of the NBA. And as I said, it's not necessarily the best player. But in terms of wow factor, like it's probably him or Ja. Like I know the NBA, despite off-court troubles, a couple of injury concerns as well, the NBA are very high on him and his marketability. Edwards, though, hasn't had any trouble. Injury-wise, been pretty good. Absolute baller. He's playing on a team that should be pretty successful over the next 5 to 10 years. Edwards looks like the guy. Would love to hear from you guys. I'll be sure to put something up during the week about that one. Would love to hear from you. Who do you think is the next face of the NBA? Certainly a contentious little topic there. As I said, the old guard aren't quite ready to give it up just yet. But it'll be interesting to see who's ready to pick up the torch and run with it. Nathan Moore asked me, does pineapple belong on pizza? Now, for me, it absolutely does not. I'm a meat lovers type of guy the whole way. Pepperoni's fine, but just give me a meat lovers and I'm good to go. Pineapple for me is a bit of a weird one as well. Like I don't like it on pizza. I don't like it on its own as a fruit, but I don't mind pineapple juice. Now, I'm kind of a little bit the same with watermelon. Like I wouldn't sit down and eat watermelon just for fun, but like in a smoothie or juice or whatever the case may be, I really like it as well. But without digressing too far, pineapple doesn't belong on pizzas. I know that is a really contentious topic. A lot of people get really rattled up about that. I do to a certain extent. But yeah, I'm the type of guy with my pizzas. I don't want capsicum. I don't want onion, mushrooms. Yeah, not really. Just give me meat and cheese and sauce. Done. Good to go. So thank you, Nathan, for that question there. And finally, Jared Hill asked me, who is the one player who might not be a household name that people should be watching this season? Love this question. Again, this one took me quite a while, like rattling through a whole list of names. I ended up settling on Mikal Bridges. Now, he's a star without being a superstar. Joined the Knicks over from Brooklyn in the offseason. As I said, a star without being a superstar. Yet I think the chemistry and excitement that's going to radiate out of Madison Square Garden this season is going to be nuts. The Villanova Knicks are officially back in action. Bridges, Jalen Brunson, Josh Hart, Dante DiVincenzo, all part of that 2015-2016 Villanova National Championship team. You can't put a price on that level of cohesion. Like, that chemistry is undeniable. They're going to play their absolute hearts out every night for each other. They're a pack of dogs. I love it. Like, the Garden is going to be rocking. Bridges in his own right averaged 20 points, 4.5 rebounds, 3.5 assists last season. A very, very tidy player. And as I said just at the top there, he's a star without being a superstar. He's kind of in that in-between point. You wouldn't classify him as a superstar, but he's maybe, a star to just above a star level player. I think he's someone that's just going to help take this team to the next level. And you could certainly make a very strong case for the fact that the Knicks are probably the biggest challenger in the East to the Celtics. I would be watching Bridges. I'd be watching the Knicks as a whole. But bringing in a piece like Bridges, nothing but good things are going to come from it. So you wouldn't classify him a household name, but he is the player I think you should be watching out for this season. Great question, though. Guys, there is a very quick mailbag. Just want to say a big thank you for everyone that sent questions in. Absolutely loved it. Loved doing these episodes. Love hearing your thoughts. It's tremendous. It really is awesome hearing from you guys, and I want to hear more from you as we start to approach the season. Drop your questions, drop your thoughts on any of the content, anything going on basketball related. Love talking with you guys, so be sure to keep it coming. On that note, if you want to stay up to date with all the latest news from both the NBA and the NBL, be sure to follow all of the socials, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and TikTok, as well as subscribing wherever you listen to the show, whether that's on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, or watching this one on YouTube. It really does mean a lot, all of your support, so be sure to keep it coming. Guys, there concludes another episode. As I said, the off-season flying by. I've kind of reached my tether with the off-season. I'm ready for ball to be back. Counting down the days now. It's certainly rattling by. We'll be sure to have another massive episode next week. So looking forward to speaking with you all then. Till then, though, remember to be good. And if you're not good, be good at it. Take care.